If your LLC isn't in your living trust, your family might be in for a legal nightmare. Let's talk about one of the most overlooked estate planning mistakes: not transferring your LLC interest into your living trust. I get it, setting up an LLC was already a headache. Now I'm telling you there's another step. Yes, and if you skip it, your family could end up stuck in probate, paying unnecessary legal fees, and waiting months or even years to access your business assets. But don't worry, in this video, I'm going to share with you how and why to transfer your LLC into your trust without legal drama later. You set up a revocable living trust to keep your assets out of probate. Smart move, but if you don't assign your ownership interest of your LLC to the trust, the business still has to go through probate when you pass away. Imagine you built a real estate empire with rental properties inside LLCs, a consulting business that brings in 6 or even 7 figures a year, a thriving online brand with digital assets, courses, and revenue streams. Now imagine you pass away and your family can't access any of it without a long, expensive court process. This is exactly what happens if you don't transfer your LLC ownership interest into your trust. A real-life example: Greg had a rental property titled in his LLC but never moved his ownership interest into his trust. When he passed away, his heirs, his kids, had to go through probate to claim the LLC. It took years of headache and thousands of dollars in court fees and attorney's fees. This could have all been avoided if Greg had assigned his ownership interest into this trust. So let's talk about how to put your LLC into a living trust to avoid probate the right way. You need to legally reassign ownership of your LLC into your trust, and here's how. Step 1, you want to check your LLC's operating agreement. Your operating agreement is like the rule book of your LLC. Before transferring ownership, make sure there are no restrictions on transferring shares to a trust. Some agreements require approval. The transfer won't trigger any unwanted taxes or partnership disputes. Most single-member LLCs won't have an issue, but if you have partners, you may have to change the operating agreement to allow for this. Step 2, work with an attorney to draft an assignment of interest. This is the magic document that legally moves your LLC ownership interest into your living trust. It's called an assignment of interest, and it should include your name, the current LLC owner, the name of your LLC, the percentage of ownership being transferred, the name of your living trust, your signature, and notarization. Here's what it might look like. I, Taylor Swift, as the sole member of Swift Enterprises LLC, hereby assign 100% interest of my business to Swift Family Trust. Once signed, it will now avoid probate. Step 3, decide how the transfer will happen. There are 2 ways. It can be an immediate transfer. This means your trust owns the LLC right now, or it can be a transfer on death. Your assignment should also include this language of whether it's transfer now or transfer on death. Which option is best? It really depends on your situation, so you want to talk with an attorney to figure out what's best for you, your business, your taxes, and your estate plan. Step 4 is to update your LLC records. Once your assignment of interest is complete, you need to update your LLC's records to reflect the trust as the new owner. Some states may require filing a new ownership document and updating your articles of organization. Let's talk about some common questions about LLCs and living trusts. Does this affect your taxes? No. Since a revocable living trust is a grantor trust, the IRS ignores it for tax purposes while you're alive, so you don't need a separate tax return for the trust. When you pass away, your trust becomes irrevocable and it will need its own tax ID and tax return. So the next question, do I need to get an EIN for my trust? No, it's a revocable trust while you're alive, so your personal social security number still applies. If this was helpful, subscribe and turn on notifications because I share real, actionable wealth building and estate planning tips every week. And if you have any questions, drop them in the comments. I'll be answering them in my next videos.